Alexis, Hope, Carlos, Barba, Linda Guaman. Your slides are still blank, so you've got like 5 minutes to upload them. Otherwise, I'm going to delete them from the deck. But it's okay, we can still do them tomorrow. So just a heads up. Yes, here's that. Oh, that's when I woke up. I actually woke up then, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're there. I didn't see you. But where is it?
20. Excuse me. Oh. Oh, and why not? I don't know why.
I just see this. It's blank.
Yes. Okay.
Is it on your computer? Can you do it again? Okay, everyone, why don't we get started? AV and video, y'all ready to go? Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, everybody, good morning. How does everybody feel? Yeah, y'all ready for day 2 of BioSummit? Yeah, okay. So I would like to report that I got some sleep last night. Sleep is glorious. Yes, yay to sleep. Thanks to Alex for telling everybody to get sleep. I hope you all got some sleep. I saw some, looks like some, who was part of reenacting the first DIY bio meeting at Asgard? That looked pretty fun. Nobody in this room? Maybe some of you guys? I don't know, that looked good. Okay, so basically just a few logistical things before we get going into the program. So one item, so tonight we have a party, okay? 99 Bio Summit. It's going to happen not in this space. It's going to happen, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the Media Lab is kind of 2 buildings. It's this building, which is kind of like Space Shuttle to the Future, and then a building directly next door, and it's in the basement of that other building, okay? So we're gonna go there after dinner, so we'll make some arrangements to make sure to show you how to get down there. But it's basically you just walk down Ames Street, and then there's a set of stairs that goes down. I don't know if you noticed that in the building next door, but that's where the party's gonna be. Now, one critical aspect of the party, you have to drink from a mug or a cup that you bring. Fortunately, we have these cups for you. So we actually have some mugs. Now, I don't think Nicole's here right now. She is now like, I think, never wants to do anything with Staples again because they slightly messed up the logo and blah, blah, blah. But whatever. Take the mugs anyways. Enjoy them, even though they're slightly not how they're supposed to look. So but they're at the info point. So just throughout the day today, feel free to go and grab a mug. And it'll be important because you will need it for the party, okay? So, so that hopefully is clear. And by the way, again, I'm looking at Hello World Part 2 right now on my computer. There's still a few of you. I see Eddie. Eddie, you're like number 3. I don't know if you've got. Oh, you put your slide in. Okay, good. Anyways, there's a few of you that still don't have your slides, and I'm looking at the deck right now. Before it starts, I'm going to delete the blank slides. If you don't have it in there, get it in there in like the next 2 minutes. Okay, so other things logistically. One, did everybody get? Is everybody on the Google group? Were people seeing emails from me like this morning? Can you raise your hand if you are not in the Google group, that you did not receive those emails? Okay, if you did not receive any email, really, that many people? Okay, if you did not receive any emails from me last night, email me right now at dkong, D-K-O-N-G at MIT, and I'll add you to the Google group. You should all be on that, but anyways, just email me if you did not get that. Because that's going to be, from here on out, it's going to be the primary communication mode is going to be that Google group. And then the only other kind of minor comment that I wanted to say is, you know, I had a really nice conversation. Well, I had a really nice conversation with so many of you. You know, again, I feel like this family reunion is definitely in full effect now. I had a really nice conversation yesterday with Nyek, and we were chatting and we were talking about, you know, Joey's talk in the morning yesterday, and I thought, you know, it was a really, really great, you know, kind of challenge that he presented, which he said, you know, like, are you a movement? And I thought that was, you know, a really good thing to think about. But then, you know, he said, you know, it's great that you are all together, and I firmly believe that a huge, huge part of what success means for this event, at a minimum, and it's already happening, is just the building of all the relationships, right? I mean, I think that's a huge, huge part, is just the friendships and the fellowships that come from this, that will lead to all kinds of other things. But I think now that we're shifting into day 2, we've got 2 more days. We got today and tomorrow. I think we should all be deliberately shifting into, you know, real planning and action mode, right? Like, we should really be thinking to ourselves, we've got this amazing opportunity. We've got these 2 days together. Let's make sure that we leave here. We should be able to reflect back on these 2 days and say, that awesome thing that we built started from a conversation or like a thread or whatever that we started at BioSummit, right? So let's make sure that that happens. And I think, you know, to enable that, right, we're starting to build a little bit of infrastructure in terms of how we communicate with each other and interact. But I think just as you're going through your sessions today, be thinking more and more about, you know, what are the projects and the things that I really, really, really want to focus on. The unconference wall is filling up, which looks really, really great. So I'm just going to plant that little seed in everybody's minds. And, you know, and tomorrow in particular, since it's going to be all unconference basically, you know, we should really, really be getting into actionable things, finding partners for projects and things that you want to bring outside of BioSummit, okay? So just a little note there. And before we go into Hello World, does anybody have any questions or comments or things they want to address before we get started? Logistical questions?
David,
Yes.
they changed my workshop time again, so you might want to tell people.
Okay. Let me, what is the new time, Ellen?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.?
6 p.m. today.
Okay, this is a very popular one. So 4 to 6 p.m., y'all, for Ellen's CRISPR workshop is now at 4 p.m. today, okay? And I don't think Monty is here. I think Monty is in the wet lab with some folks right now. So have everybody been getting to their workshops and stuff okay? Has that been working out reasonably well? Yeah? And again, today is going to be different from, now that it's Saturday, MIT is like locked. So the doors to the lab that may have been open yesterday are going to be locked today. So if you have a workshop today, make sure that you have Monty's phone number. He can definitely let you in. And again, all of the co-instructors for all of your workshops, instructors for your workshop, make sure today, if you have one, that you're connected with that person, because that person has an ID and can actually get you into the building, okay? So make sure you have Monty's phone number, and just call him if you have any questions or have any issues getting into Building 68. Any other questions, issues before we get into Hello World? Okay. So what I'm going to do standing here right now is I'm going to unfortunately delete a few of these empty slides. Actually, I'm going to give a last shout out. Haoshin, are you here? Taiwan? I'm going to put you at the very end in case you arrive. Who else here really quickly? Is Laura? Oh, you're doing it now? Okay. And then what about the BioBots folks, the Bangladesh folks? Promon? What do you say? But you're not going to do Hello World? Okay. All right, I'm going to take you guys out. And then last couple here. Alexis Hope, are you still here, Alexis? Carlos Barba? Linda Guaman? Tomorrow? Okay. Sounds good. Okay. That sounds good. Peter, can you just, I'm not sure if Google Drive will know that the changes were made. Hold on for 1 second, Peter. Yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna take these blank ones out. Give me 1 second to refresh. Okay, Laura, I'm leaving your slide in blank for now. All right. Peter, can you refresh it one more time? Yes. Okay. All right, everybody. Let me just get my timer out. Who is up first, actually? All right, Derek, why don't you hop on? I know. It's amazing how the world changes.
That's great.
Okay. All right, Derek, you ready
Great.
to go?
Yep, thanks a lot.
All right.
So I'm here representing the Victoria Makerspace. Back in 2011, we had a little bio lab in a space. David came and visited once, and it was kind of horrible little space. And in 2013, we actually put it in the same space as the main makerspace, and this has saved us. When we have the discussion about sustainability at some point today, being with the big makerspace, so our 160 members, $50 a month for a regular membership, 30 for a student, keeps our bills open, but only 148 of those ever come in the bio lab. And I'd love more to do so, but this merger of a regular makerspace, which is 3D printers and laser cutters and all those things, really both saves us and also leads to neat projects. So on the left-hand side here, you can see a bioprinter that is actually specially designed for spotting for mass spectroscopy. So a couple of our members got together with the folks in the electronics side of things and really started building these neat devices. So lots of devices come out of a mixed makerspace. Really, though, biology is near and dear to my heart, and we've done a couple of iGEMs with the university, and that's the other thing that saved us, is the tie-in with the university. Is that the university has given us, in lieu of fixed rent for a 4,000 square feet of workshop space, they take a portion of our membership revenues. So partnerships and working with a larger makerspace are really kind of the secrets to Victoria Makerspace. And I keep looking up because I thought I had a minute, but I didn't. Okay. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Kenza from BricoBio in Montreal. It's about a 5-hour drive from here, so come visit us if you want. So we're a local community biolab, but we work closely with other makerspaces in Montreal as well. There's plenty, and we are actually located in the back of a big makerspace, which has also a wood workshop. So every week people come around and visit the wood workshop, and they're surprised that there's a wet lab in the back of it. The other co-founder is Kevin Chen, and you probably seen him yesterday as well. And the people who started BricoBio actually also started a company, Hyacinth, and they make engineered yeast strains that produce the active compounds of cannabis. So if you're interested in that, talk to Kevin. For the rest, we make kombucha leather, algae, biohackathons, we run workshops, and we're working on bioluminescent beer that you can mix 2 types of beer. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Arnav. I'm from India. I'm not representing any community or such. I'm here as an individual. I'm presently I'll go clockwise. Presently, I'm a student, an undergraduate at BITS Pilani in India. So my story started like 2 years ago when the Media Lab teams came to India to do some workshops there and build products. So that just inspired me, and like this is like 2 years later, I'm here. So like this photo is from the 2 years ago. Those people I worked with. Yeah, and the camera culture also worked. I worked with the camera culture group last year and built low-cost health diagnostic systems for India. And this is one of the field visits we did in one of the poor villages. And like, it worked out pretty well. And this is the people who I worked with Ramesh Raskar and all. And presently, I'm studying electrical engineering and biological sciences in my university, but my present area of interest is AI and machine learning. So I'm hoping to apply that to the biotech world after this. Like, I'm getting a lot of great ideas now. Yeah, and that is that. And I also have a band, a metal band back in the country. I like to play along. I'll be performing tonight, in fact. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Megan Palmer. You guys saw me last night. I like to call what I do engineering biology at social scales. So I started off as a biological engineer training here at MIT. Now I work for a Center for International Security and Cooperation, which is a strange mix. But I spent several years working on a bunch of different types of projects around this community, including now as Director of Human Practices at iGEM, helping up with how to grow almost anything. I run a fellowship program called the Synthetic Biology Leadership Excellence Accelerator Program. Ask me about that. And I've worked on a bunch of other projects, and I'm just totally excited to be here among all of you. Thanks so much.
Hey, I'm Corey Tobin. You may know me as the guy who runs the lab, which is the Community Science Lab in Los Angeles. I'm going to tell you more about what other things I do. We sell this kit called Petri Paint, which is a science kit geared towards the more arts and crafts-oriented science enthusiast. All you have to do is be able to draw with a stick, and you can do kind of science. It's not really science, but it's fun. And so kids, anyone can just like paint with bacteria. I also now do YouTube videos with Super Deluxe that are like really ridiculous short videos where I talk to a stupid Barbie doll and drop knowledge bombs about science. And we're going to start doing live streaming science events where we like have experiments where the viewers give us feedback and tell us what to do next. So if you have ideas for how to do that, let me know.
Hi, hey everybody. My name is Timothy. I'm from Japan. I actually moved to Minnesota about a year ago. I'm a member of MNDIY Bio, the local biohacking community lab, and I'm also a master's student at the University of Minnesota doing microbial engineering. My current projects are making artificial probiotics and using living bacteria as a drug delivery system and alternative to antibiotics. And before doing that in Japan, I was a veterinarian, and I also worked in pharma. And those are so bureaucratic and highly regulated fields that you have so much trouble with open-mindedness and trying new things. So I really felt the need to connect with the biohacking movement, which is all about breaking barriers and trying new things. So I'm so happy to be here. And I just want to absorb everybody's creativity and awesomeness. So yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. And I want to connect with everybody. And I'm interested in, oh, sorry. And I also have an unconference on cell-free. So tomorrow at 3.
I think Bhavna is looking for the building. We'll do her at the end. Minerva. Okay, we'll get Minerva. Everybody remember, Bhavna, Minerva.
Moved along a little too fast there. I'm Tom. I'm with the Baltimore Underground Science Base.
I'm Ryan Hoover, also at Bugs.
So we got our start, actually, I guess it was about 5 years ago at right after the Walnut Creek meeting. We've got about 3,000 square feet of space in Baltimore City, an old renovated factory that was built in 1910. Have a bunch of members, so we have a membership program, we've got classes, we've got, oh, there's a slide right there, I don't have to look up. Okay. Have people working on different projects. Ryan can actually, he's our bioprinting guru, can tell you about our bioprinting stuff and the bacterial cellulose. What I really wanted to mention is in the next slide, and so Bugs is a pretty well-established space. And one of the things that we never really talk about is, you know, how much does it cost to run these things and where does that money come from? Because the missions and the things we do are really great, but without money, it doesn't happen. So just to kind of give you a breakdown of what Bugs has going on. So our management, we've got a full-time lab manager and part-time staff. Our operating budget's about $150,000 a year. About 30% of that comes from program income, and about 70% of that comes from grants. And you can see where it comes from and where it goes. They got a little distorted. And so anyway, we're trying to, so talking to our funders and things like that, we've got to shift that so that we're getting 70% of our income from program income and the rest from grants. And so that's what we're trying to figure out how to do.
I think that covers it.
Okay, all right. And it's great to be here.
Hello, yeah. So myself, I'm Bhavna Pandya from India. I'm running this BioRiddle. It's a DIY biolab and bioincubator. So this lab started 3 years back, and we started with the DIY biolab, of course. But then we realized that we need bioincubator as well, because we want our project to go to our end users. So we started with the bioincubator a year back, and now we have around 35 students working on 13 different projects and 5 startups. And a month back, we have received approval from the government of India that we are getting grant of around $5 lakh US to set up our lab. So by the next year end, we will be having all the facilities in-house, cell culture facilities, analytical facilities. And these are the programs that we conduct. It's bio-entrepreneurship program where we take all the ideas and we help them to build their prototype. We help them to build to make products. And then at the end of the 2 months, we connect them to the mentors, investors, and then they get the funding for the projects. And that's how they scale it up. Then we conduct, we also have Bioacademy course this year. So it's a 6 months of diploma course, how to grow almost anything. And then we have projects, we conduct workshops, and we have startups. Thank you.
Uriel? Okay, we'll get Uriel here.
Hi. No? Hi. Thank you. It's so much better. So I'm Jenny Medina, also known as Nina Ali. I own the Biohacking Village at DEF CON. DEF CON is the North American largest hackers conference, and the Biohacking Village has been around for 3 years. I have owned it for the last 2 years. I make it bigger every year. It's kind of awesome. It focuses on biological information security, cybersecurity, but I'm trying to get all the people that hack behind computers into labs because it makes sense. So if you guys want to do talks or something like that, hit me up because it's really dope. Bye.
Morning, everybody. So I'm Todd Kukin. I'm at North Carolina State University now in the Genetic Engineering and Society Center. And there we're really kind of asking this question of how society can be more involved in deciding their own genetic futures. And what we mean by that is really how people can decide whether or not to use all of the great genetic technologies or maybe bad genetic technologies, but how society can be more involved in making those decisions. But in addition to that, at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Dan and I are going to be talking about a new project we have in terms of evolving the biosafety practices in community labs in the DIY community. This little box over here is the Ask a Biosafety Officer program that Jason Bobe and I started a number of years ago that we think worked for a little while, but the labs have gotten a lot bigger, they're a lot further away, they're doing much more sophisticated things, and we want to figure out how the community can continue to be proactive and ahead of the game and be completely responsible what the community has been doing since the beginning. So come talk to us tomorrow at 3.
Hi guys, I'm Michael. I'm chief spokesman for the Four Thieves Vinegar Collective. If you've heard of us, it was probably through the EpiPencil when we decided that Mylan were chiselers for overpricing the EpiPen. Previous to that and continuously now, we are developing the Apothecary Microlab, which is an open source automated chemical reactor with which people can manufacture the active pharmaceutical ingredients in various medicines to which they don't have access, either for reasons of price or legality or lack of infrastructure. Visit us. We're going to do a beta release of the new reactor at KubeConf in November, we hope. I'm considering running a unconference session on biohacking as protest. If anybody's interested in doing that, let me know and I'll actually write it up. Come say hi.
Hello, I'm Daniel Grushkin. I'm the executive director of GenSpace. 8 years ago, we started something in my living room. We basically did our first experiment. A year later, we moved in, we created our own lab. We didn't know if anyone would show up. People showed up. So thank you, everyone, for that. This is our new lab. We just moved in. The doors are not yet on the lab. They will be on Monday. It is bright and beautiful and wonderful. Thank you. We have something new that we're offering the community. We just got a grant from the Open Philanthropy Project to place lab managers in select labs around the country. So they will be able to help you. They will also help you with your operations and your biosafety processes. So stay tuned. We're going to reach out to the community in the end of summer.
So hello, my name is Nuria. I come from Barcelona. That's the space we managed to pay the rent there, which is awesome for 2 years already. And we do exactly what everything has been doing in USA, but now in Barcelona. So we build machines. We teach how to build machines for making a lab. We bioprint. We grow stuff in Petri dishes. We brew stuff to drink. We grow things in bioreactors. And then we keep doing this as for science and for citizens. But we are just a bunch of friends in a garage. And the way that we work is project-based. So we normally ask the people to think about their own experiments, to think about their own project, and then we host them in the lab if they need our help. And that's normally works for artists, so we end up being like a kind of a lab for artist people, and that's why we grow kombucha now, but in a different way, like to have 3D structure and these kind of things. We also hosted a lot of artists that want to do auto-exploration of the body, mainly gynecological exploration, and many, many other things. So if you want to check out, this is our website, and I will be around.
Hi, so I'm Johan Sosa, and these are some biohacking projects that I'm working on, typically at BioCurious and also Counterculture Labs. So the three things that I'm kind of focusing on is gene editing, whether there's ways to improve on CRISPR. And so one of the things is CRISPR uses an RNA guide, and to do that in a DIY setting, dealing with RNA is a bit difficult. So I want to see if there's a possibility to use DNA as the guide instead of RNA. And so it turns out that DNA can actually form a triple helix on a double strand of DNA. So the idea is to basically have DNA as a triple helix, and at the end of the DNA, you have a cleavage domain like FOKI, which is used in zinc finger nucleases and TALEN. And also, I'm looking at using recombinases instead of Cas9, so modifying recombinases so that they can accept a guide. The other thing, oops, I guess I finished my minute, so thanks. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Helene Steiner. I'm a designer and I have the great pleasure to incorporate quite a lot of disciplines in my work and to work with a lot of different disciplines. My story actually started a couple of years ago exactly in this building in Hiroshi Ishii's group, where we built the project Biologic, what you see in the right corner up there. But we built an interface between our skin and bacteria. And since then, I'm interested in building a diversity of interfaces with different organisms, so besides bacteria as well, plants. My interest is in general in programmable materials and biocompatible materials, and also building a fresh perspective on sustainability and how we interact with our environment. I'm a lecturer at the Royal College of Art, and I'm also working with Tom at Cell-Free Technologies, where we look in all the mentioned concepts. We will have actually a workshop together joined with Jenny tomorrow, where we will build a primitive 8x8 pixel display with Cell-Free. So I hope to join. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Matthew McAteer. Much of my research background is in Alzheimer's disease, stem cell research, and fruit fly aging. So my most recent big project in biohacking was Project AgeUp, which the aim of that was to try and make molecules like NAD precursors that could be useful for aging research and try to make them available more cheaply. And what I'm here to do, what I'm here this weekend is just meet all of you, just meet the people who are working on some of the most amazing projects, and truth be told, reaching out, asking if you'd like to be interviewed. And I'm also very interested in how to actually make biohacking financially sustainable. Elliot and I are holding an unconference on that later, so yeah, stop by if that's what you're also interested in.
Hi, I'm Patrick Daslier, from co-founder at Counterculture Labs in Oakland. We are the other big community lab in the San Francisco Bay Area. We actually started our meetings in 2012, opened our lab in 2014. We got this beautiful old community building that we moved into. We have a very community-oriented space, lots of other social justice organizations, lots of other collectives in the building. We have a very egalitarian structure, a very flat structure. We have voting members, so the members can actually vote out our board and vote out the directors if they want to. Lots of projects oriented towards the common good. We'll see some of those on the next slide. We have a very well-equipped lab right now. We're actually hoping to open up a BSL-2 lab in the near future.
Hey, I'm Marie Moldavan. I'm the current president of Counterculture Labs, and here are some of our projects. We have the Real Vegan Cheese Project, which is actually graduating to start scaling to store shelves. That actually won iGEM in 2004. We have Open Insulin Project, which I helped co-found, which is making generic insulin. We have BAM, Bayer Applied Mycology, which is doing microremediation work.
My name is Mary Ward. I'm co-founder of Counterculture Labs. I'll be talking a little bit later about how to do science communications using artists to make these discussions visual so that technologists and other stakeholders can actually talk about the future. So that'll be a slide will be later.
Good morning, everyone. Everybody, sorry. My name is Laura. I'm a visual artist. I came from Argentina. Sometimes I work with hands-on bioart practices. Other times I work with traditional techniques as painting and sculpting. And I would like to share with you my experience on the materialization of 3D models through the SciArt collaboration work. I joined a collective that is called Proteus with social scientists and biologists, molecular biologists. And since we found that increasing data collection in scientific research is flattened the experience of perception through the screen, we are trying to find alternative models to visualizing all that information, because there is no problem with that patterns that you, or most of scientific research are used to work with. But the problem of the risk of assuming it at the unique way of perception, and it condition our comprehension of some structures at the submicroscopic world. So that's why I invite you to join me in an unconference session tomorrow to find some solutions to materialize our bio-art or biotechy problems. So thank you. And thanks to Jenny, especially.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. My name's Carolyn Angleton. I live in Sacramento, California, and have a studio called Sac BioArts. I live in the foothills of California, so I usually tell everybody I'm a grower. That's what everybody thinks people do there. But what I grow is variegated camellias, and I'm really interested in the color placement and the variegation patterns in petals and in flowers, and using that as a signaling device to understand a cellular level of nature. As an artist, you often are, the challenge is to get the in-depth scientific knowledge, which is fantastic to be at a conference like this. And the schools that I've affiliated with have been SVA, School of Visual Art in New York City with Suzanne Anker, has the first wet lab in an art school. And then also Cultivamus Cultura in Portugal, where Marta de Menezes lives and runs workshops. And then more recently at these guys, Patrick and Mary in Oakland, because they're close to me. And I want to briefly say what I think the role of an artist is to, in this format, is to do three things. One is to connect the history of an idea and trace that, take that into a current political and technological kind of context, and look at the landscape of that. And then through metaphor, desire, and fantasy, we envision the future. So that's how I think art, fine arts intersects with what a lot of you guys are doing here. Thank you.
I'm Eric Sapka. In the late 2000s, I was at University of British Columbia. I was doing medical research in a number of different disciplines. I was doing media art. I was studying philosophy, and I thought all this could be done differently. I started a collective, Open Science Network, which eventually evolved into the organization that Scott presented so well. We've got a physical lab. We do workshops with technical elements. We talk about open science as a culture. As an artist, what I do, blending art and science and so on, I create video game controllers with food. I create these weird meat, like these kind of protein, semi-bean meat thingies. I do stuff with computers and new technologies. I bring in biological elements from my background, working at a pathology museum, working in labs. I blend this all together, and then this is kind of what it might look like when I install it, a bunch of different equipment, a bunch of science fiction content, a bunch of projections, all kind of combined. The point of all this, for me, the idea behind all of it is to create platforms for discussion. We have XOX Labs, that's where I host my work, Open Science Network, which is our collective lab, and it's about asking the question of what our knowledge is. What's the knowledge we value? What do we want our own valorization of epistemology, of ideas, of knowing to be in our society? Is it always technoscience? Is it always something technical? Or are there other things, personal knowledge, your own health, your environment, what's going on around you, what you analyze, what you think? What is all of this, and what can open science contribute? And that's sort of my goal with that and my work, and I'm going to do an unconference on this. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm representing Open Lab Madrid. We are a group of people who had a lot of great ideas, but didn't have a place to develop them. So as soon as we hear about the biohacking community, we thought, wow, these people are so cool. Let's do it. So we started a makerspace, a local makerspace, to fix the machines. We start asking to the university, like that one in the chemistry faculty, but that didn't work out. So we came across with Media Lab Prado, and we stayed there. We met in Interactivos 2016, a lot of wonderful people, and they believe in us. So soon enough, we will have in our own space in Media Lab Prado, and these are the designs of the lab. And that picture over there is a workshop of soap, because meanwhile, the lab is being set up. We're doing some workshop with kids and also with adults. And I think that's all.
Hello. I'm Karen Ingram. I'm from the New York area. I was a creative director in the world of marketing and advertising, and ended up taking a class or two at GenSpace because I met the people who started GenSpace through my event series in Pierce's League, and I've been stuck on synthetic biology and DIY bio ever since. So that's resulted in a bunch of really cool projects and collaborations, including the BioBuilder book and a few other things. And I'm super excited to be here and looking forward to talking to you guys more. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Romy Luttrell. This is me without a beard. No, I'm just kidding. This is Desiree Pebenito. She and her partner Jade Wills created the Lube Lab for a residency I was running over the summer, which is part of a project to bring science to people who do not care at all about science and get them more curious about it. So if you want to talk to somebody about human biology, viscosity, and wet chemistry, and they explicitly don't want to talk to you about that, maybe build the world's tiniest lube museum where you have to enter it through a velvet vagina to see the exhibits. It's not going to work for every topic, but I think no matter how esoteric or how niche or taboo what you're working on is, there's a way to make an experience that's relevant to them and leaves a lasting impression and reaches the people that you want to reach. And that's what I want to do this weekend, is meet a lot of you guys, find your challenges, looking at you cell-free systems, and create a way to bring more people into our movement. And come to the party tonight, because we'll have an installation there.
Hi, my name is Roya Amini Naini, and I'm a biohacker who used to live in Seattle and is currently in LA. And so how I got into the biohacking scene, when I was a sophomore in high school, I couldn't find a place that would accept me because of my age and my lack of experience. And so I thought to join like a college club, because they don't usually expect people outside of the college to join those things. So I kind of just showed up and nobody said anything. And so I stayed on the team for 2 years. The second year I was actually on the leadership board. But then we got funding from a department that found out that someone on the team wasn't a matriculated student and was underage. So I got kicked out of the iGym team because of that, because we were tight on funding and the iGym is incredibly expensive. But so I decided to start, so they might have made an exception for me, but I wanted other high schoolers to have the same opportunity because that really drew me into synthetic biology. So I started the first high school iGym team in the state at Sound Bio Community Lab, and we tried doing it with a high school in the area, but no teachers would volunteer, so we did it at a community lab, and everyone there was really, really supportive. And so they're going to be at the competition this year, but now I'm in LA, and I'm trying to get involved there. And the UW, the university team, was really, really helpful, because they didn't like the kick-out situation either.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kirti Shetty from EMW Street Bio. We are a community lab based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. You met most of our team here who are volunteering. David, of course, is part of the team. Shannon, Mary, Michelle, Alex, Strauss, and others. So we started about 2 years ago, and realizing that we are in the hub of biotech here in Cambridge, but we wanted to kind of bridge the gap between the community and what's like the research that's going on in the greater Boston area. So we started this community lab space, and so we have created like a couple of workshops throughout the year to help educate the public on like what is synthetic biology. We also started a youth science initiative as part of our STEM education outreach program. This past year, the theme was on sustainability, and so we worked with Ginkgo Bioworks, with some partners at MIT Media Lab, and also our very last session was with an astronaut, and she talked to the kids about how to terraform on Mars, and they did this really cool session. We also host the How to Grow Almost Anything class, which David will talk about later this afternoon. And one of our main projects is on Biota Beats, which Alex will talk about at 10:30. But basically, it's a microbial record player, which we translate bacteria into sound. And over the summer, we got to work with DJ Jazzy Jeff, and we're in the process of turning his microbes into sound, so stay tuned for that. Please check us out at biotabeats.org. And if you're in the Boston area, or if you ever come and visit Boston, please join us on Sundays at 3 p.m. at the EMW bookstore. Thanks.
Hi. We are the Biomaker Lab group from the University of Pennsylvania. My name is Yasmin Kafai. I was actually here at the MIT Media Lab over 20 years ago. I'm a computer science educator, and I was interested in how to engage children in coding, and I also helped co-develop Scratch, the YouTube of interactive media for kids. And now I'm interested in figuring out on how we can help kids to make or design with biology.
And my name is Justice Walker. I'm a former bioengineer and currently doctoral student at the University of Pennsylvania, where I study emerging technologies, equity, and learning.
And we also have Deborah Liu, a postdoctoral fellow and learning scientist, and Karen Hogan, who is a biologist and the teaching coordinator for all the undergraduate labs at Penn, and the incredible Orca Antella, designer. And we have a project, Biomaker Lab. Believe it or not, it's NSF funded. It allows us to now develop a low-cost portable prototype of a wet lab, which next year we will release under the common license, so everybody can actually make their own with off-the-shelf tool. And we also design curriculum.
Yeah, and so what we explore and research is how students can tinker, play, and make with synthetic biology-based designs and this tool. And so we implemented a curriculum with 50 high school students in their classrooms and at the Franklin Institute. These lab activities are based on Natalie Caudel's BioBuilder assays, and students do things like make bio-based pigments that are embedded in sodium alginate scaffolds, and yeasts that are engineered to produce vitamin A intermediates.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Melody Knowlton, and I'm here from Vertex, representing the Vertex Learning Lab, along with my colleague, Kate Denton. You can see her picture. She's over there in the corner. The Vertex Learning Lab is a space at our Seaport World headquarters where we welcome Boston Public High School students for programming all throughout the year. So you can see what our programming looks like throughout the academic year. We have students for class visits. We also have an after-school science fair mentoring program. In the summer, we have students for paid internships working in our labs and also learning more about what else we do besides being in the lab at Vertex. And then we also give out a scholarship to one student going to a University of Massachusetts campus interested in pursuing a STEM major. As a company, we are committed to STEM education and enhancing that in the communities in which we are in. So we have active outreach in the UK as well as in San Diego. Our goals really simple and line up with some of the things that you all have talked about over the last day, getting students really excited about STEM and about science, welcoming them to Vertex. We're proud of innovation at Vertex, so having them be innovative as well, and then just really demonstrating our commitment to the community. We're glad to be here, glad to learn more about you. Thanks for having us.
Hi. Sorry I didn't have a slide because I didn't really know what to put on it. My name is Kasima. My background is in the history and philosophy of science and technology and medicine, although I'm no longer in academia. Now I work in film and television. I'm a science and story consultant. most recently on a show that we finished airing on BBC America called Orphan Black. I'm here today, thanks. I'm here today with my other colleagues, my favorite Canadian friends, Daniel Rohr, could you stand up and let them see you? And Jamie as well, who's our research associate. Daniel is our director. We're actually working on a documentary that we've partnered with American cable channel called Showtime on citizen science and DIY biology. After all the years that I worked on Orphan Black, became really interested in DIY biology and how important it is that we are able to do citizen science and what that means. Daniel and I think David will be doing a little bit of a longer talk later this afternoon. So please come and talk to us if you want to know more. We are starting some filming this weekend. If you do not want to be on camera, please don't worry, we will not film you. I hate having my picture taken. I avoid at all costs, so I fully appreciate why people would not want that for themselves. But we're really friendly and we're really sincere, so please come and talk to us and please introduce yourselves. Some of you I've met and some of you I've reached out to already, so I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Winnie Poncelet. I'm from Reagent, a lab in Belgium, but I'm going to talk about a project called OpenCare. I'm currently a fellow for the project, and it basically brings people together, projects, individuals, who are filling the gap with citizens where institutions and governments fail to provide healthcare. So this is like trauma therapists working with refugees, people hacking together medical equipment, people making open insulin, for example. We bring them together on an online platform. They learn from each other, finances, organization, how do you deal with security, with government, everything. And we have an event coming up in October where all these people are going to come together, all globally. But that aside, I want to invite you all because we're actually starting a series of community hubs in the North African region to take everything we've learned from all these communities, from all these people, and help the local people in Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt to set up their own autonomous community hub that provides healthcare to everyone. So if you're interested, hit me up, come to the conference, it's free, and come to Morocco in December. We're already starting it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Ali Schockschneider. I'm an artist, a design researcher, a longtime member of GenSpace, pushing over 4 years now, I think. I'm from New York City. I'm also an educator. I teach classes at GenSpace like biotextiles, teaching people with probably no former interest in biotechnology to grow material and think about how it could change fashion. So I have a background in fashion design, and I think a lot about biomaterials. I speculate about these things out of the lab and how they can make fashion and design weirder to talk about kind of the problematic relationship we have with the world around us and our design things. So you can see some of my work. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to keep this short. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I will also keep this short. My name is Orkan Talhan. I am an educator, a professor in the University of Pennsylvania. And I was a Media Lab person 7 years ago. It's great to be back with synthetic biology and discussions on design and biohacking. So here, in a couple of hours, I'll talk about Design.bio, a new initiative that we are starting to bring more diversity into biohacking and synthetic biology in general. How do we bring artists and designers into the space to invent new kinds of applications which can be mainstream or more speculative and critical? So I will talk about that a lot. Sorry. Also, as an educator, I'm interested in creating new kinds of tools that we can give back to the synthetic biology community. So I'm part of a startup called BioRealize that makes automated portable biolabs to enable people who don't have access to community labs, or also community labs which don't have the same kind of resources that we see in big mainstream well-funded labs. So if you're interested in partnering with us or try out some equipment, you can also hit me with that. So the two things that I want to leave today is we want to care about diversity. David's initiative about bringing diversity to this community is very important. How do we increase the diversity in terms of content? How do we come up with new kinds of projects that are not tried before? And also think about reciprocity. How do we bring not only science to designers and artists, but more bring design back to science and science education so we can have a diverse conversation with every partner. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Georg Drömmel. I'm originally from Austria, but I'm based in Japan now since about 10 years. And I'm an artist, and I'm working with art and biology. And I started doing this 2002, and I thought, shit, I'm too late, So all the interesting stuff already happened, So luckily that was not the case. So now we are here, So I made projects with called Biopresence, Humanity Natures. I have a couple of series with blue carnations, the first genetically modified plant, which is neither food nor feed. A recent work is called Resist Refuse, which is actually a physical reenactment of the physical aspects of the Japanese biological warfare program. So if anybody's here from the FBI, I'd really like to talk to you about biological warfare. But the problem with being an artist, is we are always knocking on the doors of the labs, let us in, And finally, in 2015, I started the BioClub in Tokyo, kind of a community lab, and I'm happy to have a couple of guys here. So Hiro is going to do an Ayurveda workshop. The Usami Deroya, I hear somewhere they're sponsoring this thing. Digital Garage is sponsoring this thing as well. So yeah, if you ever come to Tokyo, give me a shout. I'd like to have you make a presentation, make a workshop. Please get in touch with me. And also get in touch with me if you want to know more about cultural amnesia, gamma gardens, and who were the original biodesigners. I have a little bit of a problem with the word biodesign. Find me and find out why. Okay.
So you saw me earlier. My name is Mary Ward. I'm a co-founder of Counterculture Labs, and we had the panel earlier about biosecurity. We're bringing, biotech labs into neighborhoods. Counterculture Labs is in a really nice residential neighborhood, and while Daniel brought in the FBI to, talk about safety, I brought in artists. You find that when you have discussions between stakeholders and technologists, it gets into an argument about facts. And our discussion actually needs to be something beyond facts, a future that we don't know. And so I brought in artists, about 20 different artists, performers, to have a visual discussion about genetic engineering. Anyone who has a community lab knows that when journalists come in, they're like, show us some stuff. And you're like, yeah. So what we do is we mix small volumes of clear liquids with clear liquids, and we get spots on a plate. Isn't it amazing? And they just don't get it. They want to see beakers full of, colored water. And so this is to make that discussion visual. Instead of eugenics, we made bioqueer. Instead of having science as things completely separate from religion, we made science the religion. Totally wrecked ontology, changed the everything. So anyway, I have an unconference tomorrow, 4:30, to do this event again. We're going to take it out of the Omni Commons and bring it to MoMAs across the United States and even to London. So come talk to me if you're an artist and want to have a stake in this. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Bache. I'm the Molecular Innovations Director at Conservation X Labs, and we are an online technology accelerator, and we just launched a digital makers space. It's a digital online platform that everyone, and we need people of all talents. We need designers, we need artists, we need scientists to help us end human-induced extinction, full stop. So we have some pretty lofty goals, but we really are really passionate about this. We have a really great platform that will help you take an idea to a prototype and that prototype to scale in nonprofit and for-profit settings. for example, working on a low-resource DNA barcode scanner right now that could be used by an individual without a scientific background, specifically Customs or Border Protection, Homeland Security, for them to identify things crossing the border to help fight illegal wildlife trafficking, timber trafficking, and a lot of those sorts of things. We need all of you. And I made a special, we just launched this 3 weeks ago, so I apologize that it is in beta right now, but I made an invite for this conference. So please, at cxlx.org/biosummit, that is an open invite for everyone here to participate in our beta and join our community to help end human-induced extinction. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have an unconference at 9 a.m. on biohacking and conservation and how those two different groups can meet and work together. If you have any questions, please approach me at any time, and I brought the DNA barcode scanner prototype if you want to play with it and help me design it for low resource settings. Thank you.
So, hello everybody. My name is Roland van Diegeldonk from Amsterdam. So how did I get into all of this? So my background in study is biology, and then I did media technology, which is kind of based on a media lab, and I wanted to find where I could combine these two. And then I found this space in Amsterdam at Waag Society, the Open Wet Lab, which gave me the opportunity to discover kind of this combination. So one project we worked on is to interact with light-sensitive organisms. It was called Biotic Games, which I'm developing now into a synthesizer. You see a picture of it, kind of tracking these protozoa which react to LEDs with a webcam microscope. And now I'm doing several bioart projects. We did one with Günther Seyfried at the Open Wet Lab in Amsterdam, where we did CRISPR in vitro, which we were very happy that it worked the second time, because it's really hard. And I teach at the Art Academy to design students, and I'm interested in how they can get creative and not rehash ideas, and how they can kind of come up with their own stuff in the biospace, which is what I'm thinking about a lot. So come to me about these things.
Yeah, hi, I'm Randy. I run iGEM. If you don't know about iGEM, ask somebody else here. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm going to tell you only about where we came from, how we relate to you, and what we're doing in the future. Number one, from the very beginning, we thought about biohacking, right? Our offices were next to Stallman, right? Richard Stallman and Jerry Sussman. We chose undergraduates because they were the people at MIT who didn't know what was impossible, and they could do anything. And from the beginning, we wanted everybody on Earth to participate in this new industry of synthetic biology. We had all those goals. A lot of that's worked really well. I'm delighted to see that there are so many people in such a strong DIY bio community. That is fabulous. That's what we always wanted to have happen. That's just wonderful. You fill a different role than we fill at iGEM, but there's an important role for everybody. I want to tell you some new things that are happening with iGEM, where we're going in the future. You all know what iGEM has been like in the past. It's been pretty stable. But synthesis is really taking over. Wonderful deal from IDT. We're moving very much away from restriction, digest, ligation into synthesis. It's wonderful. It's where we wanted to go. That's probably going to let us go lab-free at iGEM headquarters and not have a lab. When we don't have a lab, we're going to need partners. Anybody want to work with us? Okay, let's check it out. We're also going to make a new registry. The current registry is really old. It's beautiful, if I say so myself. But we're going to make a new registry with the community, and that's going to be a very much better thing. We've been doing an interlab study all around the world, about 200 teams measuring the same thing everywhere. You could be a part of that if you want. We're starting an After iGEM program, and there'll be something about that later today, I believe. We have ambassadors. We have an ambassador to France already. Thomas, say hi to him. There's a lot of things we're doing with After iGEM, and they're all things that the iGEMers can participate in. This is not a raise the money. This is not an alumni association with dull meetings. This is going to be fun things to do. So thank you very much for working on all of this biology. It's wonderful.
All right, everyone, another round of applause for Hello World. Yeah.
I really feel like I could just keep watching that. If there were more people, I would just watch all day. So a few people didn't get a chance to present, and I think a few people that wanted to present their slides were either in workshops or other things. So my proposal is this. I will do a final session tomorrow, and maybe we'll call it Until Next Time World. So we'll do it as part of the closing session at 5 o'clock and give everybody a chance to kind of say hello and goodbye, I guess, at the same time, or until next time. And so with that, we're actually, again, pretty on schedule. I'm going to make a proposal, though. The next session on bioart and design is supposed to start at 10:30. But why don't we take, just so we can keep everything else on time, can we take just like a 10-minute break and come back at 10:15 to start the bioart and design session? Does that sound good? Okay. Thank you guys very much. We'll be back in 15 minutes or 10 minutes for bioart and design. Yeah.